What is shaking? Tonight, I'm not feeling completely 100%, but we're going to try to do this for about half an hour or so and recap the game. I'll take a few questions. As you can tell, it probably wasn't that hard to tell since I usually have a beer post game, but we're drinking tea. It's not what I planned, but not bad. A little Earl Grey, a little lemon, a little honey. Again, it's not what I'm used to at 10 o'clock, 10:30 on a Friday night, but you do what you got to do. Yeah, the voice I woke up yesterday, the voice was shredded, just gone. And so we'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. But anyway, 3-1, then it was 3-2, now it's 3-3. Going back to Houston for a game 7. And the Warriors have a Steven Adams problem. Steven Adams is good. He's the only player in this series to have a plus in every game and plus minus, if I'm not mistaken. Of guys that played a decent amount. He's the one that don't start this, not you. I had to get Kid off the table. Now Pippy's up here kind of skulking around going, hey, what do we got going on? Got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Steven Adams has been really good. I mean, maybe consistently the best player in the series. The last 3 games has been Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet is just, what happened? I don't think I've ever seen anybody go from as cold as he was to as hot as he is. He was 6 for 29. 6 for 29 from 3 the first 3 games. He's now 18 for 27 the last 3 games. I mean, you can't stop him. You can't even contain him. That's how good he's been. Like, he literally does not miss right now. But of course, the one shot he missed was a wide open corner 3. Like, that's the most wide open shot he had all game, and he missed it. But he's been just incredible. And Adams is just really good. He understands how to play. He makes the right reads. They don't ask him to do much offensively. Just grab some offensive rebounds. And it's really tough. Like, it's tougher for him to play when you're going against a big team because then you don't have that advantage. The Warriors don't have that. So they're having to keep these guys off the boards. Really, the only thing you can do is try the hack-a-Adams strategy, which worked twice. He went 0 for 2, and they got a rebound both times. Other than that, he was 2 for 2, 1 for 2. But it's been Adams. It's been VanVleet. It really has. Steve went with a different lineup tonight. He started Gary Payton the second. And they go along with Buddy, Butler, Draymond, and Steph. And the problem with that lineup is there's no floor spacing. I mean, your floor spacing gets crushed. And I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to make sure Gary was out there guarding Fred VanVleet, try to cool him down a little bit. That didn't work. He didn't shoot a lot, which was good. The ones he did shoot, he made. But the floor spacing just wasn't good. That being said, they're down 1 at the end of the first quarter. And then this second quarter, had a few rough spots here and there. That being said, you're down 3 going into halftime. And then you're down 2 heading into the fourth quarter. So while it feels like Houston's playing really good, and they're only up 2. And then, to me, the most important sequence of the game that I mentioned earlier on, that Fred VanVleet has been hot, like molten lava hot. Yeah. Well, they lost track of him to start the fourth quarter. Houston didn't run a play. They didn't do anything. They just passed it up twice and thought, well, hey, Fred VanVleet's open. Let's pass it to him. Passed it to him. Gary Payton gets a foul, and he makes a 3. Bang. 2-point lead to a 6-point lead like that. Come down, you get an empty possession. They come down. You stop him, offensive rebound, stop him, offensive rebound. And then Draymond makes a really nice play on Jalen Green going baseline. He blocked the shot. It just went right back into Jalen Green's hands, and then he laid it up. 8. So within a minute, it goes from 2 to 8. And then they never were really able to get back in it after that. And then it just seemed like they were just climbing uphill the whole fourth quarter. I mean, they were climbing uphill the whole game. But there was, I think at least 4 times they got to 2. And then it went to 7 or 9, like immediately. Just boom, boom, boom. And then they'd whittle their way back, and then boom, get to 2, back up to 7 or 8. But I mean, Steven Adams just a problem for them, because what happens is if you're going to play guys he can back off and he doesn't even have to guard, that's a problem, because then he mucks up the whole paint. He can't go anywhere. He's there. This mountain of a man, a mountain with shoes, is just standing in the middle of your key, and you can't get around it. And on offense, he's a good passer. Again, he's a smart player. He understands what the hell is going on out there. Like, he gets it. He's one of those high IQ basketball players. And then he just crashes the glass. I mean, absolutely crashes the glass. So, yeah. I mean, guess what? They're going to have to deal with him again. Game 7. They don't have a lineup where they have enough two-way players. And look, Steve knows this. I think that's why they have the record they did. You need as many two-way guys as you can get. That's why, they were so good, right? In the middle part of the 2000, the teens, 15, 17, 18, all those years, 5 straight years in the finals. Who did they have? Klay Thompson, two-way guy. Andre Iguodala, two-way guy. Kevin Durant, two-way guy. Draymond, you wouldn't consider a two-way guy, but he's more so than you think, just because he's so smart offensively and kind of orchestrates the whole thing and runs the offense. And then before that, Sean Livingston, two-way guy. So as many of those guys you can have, it helps you. Now, the Rockets don't have a ton of two-way guys, right? Van Vliet's good offensively, not great defensively. Good team defender, though. He's a bulldog. He gets into you. He battles you. But I think if you get him out in space, side to side, I think there's some advantages there to be had. Dylan Brooks, solid defensive player. He's more kind of like the Jack Russell that's barking at you. He's just a shit disturber. I don't mind him. He's one of those guys, if you have him on your team, you're happy. You hate playing against him. But offensively, he's just okay. Occasionally hit some threes for you, and you're solid. Şengün, really good offensive player, not great defensively. Amen Thompson is like a demon defensively. Not great offensively. Right, so they have some of those guys too. It's just they're a lot more athletic than the Warriors guys that aren't that. Right, you have Buddy Hield, who's good offensively, not great defensively. Although in Game 4 he's good defensively. Steph's one of the best in the world. Draymond is better defensively than all. He doesn't get to run the show as much anymore, run the offense, because the way they're playing him, they're just going to switch in everything. Like you rarely see the pocket pass now, where Steph passes it to him in the pocket and he kicks it out to the corner. That's where the spacing helps you. And this isn't anything against those guys, but when you put Gary Payton out there, you're not going to have that spacing. Even Jimmy Butler Jimmy's a fantastic player, of course, but if he's on your weak side wing and you kick it to him, he's probably not going to shoot it. He's probably going to pump fake and try to get to the middle, and that's fine. But that's what I'm talking about, where spacing is going to help you. The spacing is going to it makes the court so much easier to navigate when you have all that space. And the Warriors don't have it. And then when they get a lineup in there that does have it, I was like, what the hell's going on in here? We got somebody sneaking in down here or something? When you do have guys that can space the court, they're not your best defenders. So, I mean, do I think they can still get it done? Sure. Yeah. I mean, you got Steph Curry, you got Jimmy Butler, you got Draymond Green, guys that have won or been to championship games. So, yeah, they could do it. But I'll tell you another big moment in that game, too. And again, no slight on Dylan Brooks. When Dylan Brooks got his fourth foul, people might have been saying, sweet. Guess what? Fourth foul, he came out. Steven Adams went in. That was a bad exchange for the Warriors. You much rather have Dylan Brooks in the lineup than Steven Adams right now. I guess Steven Adams just kicking your ass all over the place. What are you going to do about it? I mean, keep him off the court if you can. That would be nice. If you had guys that could space the court, excuse me, while also playing defense, that would be good. But, you know, you have what you have. You have what you have. So they're going to have to go in there and kind of rely on their experience. I think now, this may seem weird, but now I think the Rockets actually have some pressure on them. You know, like I think games 5 and 6, sure you have a little pressure on you. You know, it's, you know, do or die. That cat's in here just screwing around. That's what that was. Hope he didn't break it. I don't think she really cares, to be honest with you. Okay, I think she's going away. But anyway, I think now you have something to lose. Before they had nothing to lose. Take some swings, see what happens. Let's go. Now it's like, oh, damn, we're at home. I think there's going to be some of that nervous energy there. And I think the start of the game is going to be critical. You do not want, you don't, cat or ghost, both. I know the cat. She's right there. Hey, you knocked it over. Look, I'm looking at it like you. What happened? What did you? No, you did that. You did that. Okay. I'll be looking around like I have no idea what happened. I'm on to you. The Warriors have been here, right? The Warriors have been in these situations before. Hell, it wasn't just a couple years ago. They had to, after losing a game 6, go to Sacramento and win a game 7, the one where Steph had 50. Was it 52? 50, whatever it was. Incredible game. Difference there is you're down 3-1 in this one. And you got to fly 4 hours to go play. That was a 90-minute drive. So, you know, it takes a little out of you traveling, but they'll leave tomorrow and, you know, get after it on Sunday. Then if you win that one, you go straight to Minnesota and play them on Tuesday. So I fully believe they can win that game. Absolutely. I know it doesn't look great. It never looks great when you're down 3-1 and it goes to game 7, right? It doesn't. But, you know, it's not like Houston isn't a flawed team, can be a flawed team. They're going to have to stop Van Vliet, though. There's only so much you can do about Adams if you don't have the personnel. Just what are you going to do? But there was one time where they said a high screen roll, right? Or maybe it may have even been in the zone when Van Vliet comes off it from right to left. And Quentin Post was down by the top of the key. He wasn't playing drop coverage, but he got out there too late. You got to play Van Vliet like he's Steph Curry now. Because he's shooting the ball better than Steph Curry. Even when Steph Curry goes on a bender, this is like, well, this is kind of how he shoots. It's like everything he throws up is going to go in. Does he have the dynamic that Steph had? No, of course he doesn't. He's not Steph. But you let him get open and get his feet set and shoot. It's as good as Steph shooting it right now. That's how good he's been. So, yeah, and I've never seen that before where somebody was like so cold and then just got blistering hot. That was a wild one for me. But, you know, we'll see it because they're going to have to draw on all their experience, all Draymond's experience, all Steph's experience. Steve, Butler hasn't won, but he's been to the finals twice. So they've been here. They've been here before. And so anyway, we can take a couple comments if you want. I'm sorry, my voice just isn't great right now, so I apologize. but we can take some comments. Just go ahead and throw it up there. The offense has been frustrating to watch, especially with the turnovers. Yeah, the Steph had some bad turnovers today too. He just did. This is the Warriors have done a pretty good job this year of not turning the ball over. And I'm trying to look. I'm sorry, I didn't bring my box score home today. Usually I bring the box. I got one. Got one right here. Hey, Warriors won. Sweet. Let's go on to round 2. Warriors win. Oh, wait. That's an old box score. That didn't count. Let's see. What'd they do? 46, 13 turnovers. Yeah, 16 turnovers. That's not great. And it's the points up turnovers, right? The Rockets had 22. So their turnovers hurt the Warriors more than the Rockets' turnovers hurt the Rockets. So, yeah, you're on the road, man. You got to be able to take care of it. And am I going to Houston for Game 7? That's still kind of up in the air. Like, I mean, I want to go. I feel better. I feel like I'm getting better. But that's the last thing I want to do is like get anybody sick. And so, in case you guys don't know, planes are tubes. We just keep recirculating air throughout the plane. So I don't know. We'll see. Why do the Warriors double off Van Vliet to double Şengün? Can a different defensive player? Yeah, I mean, you should never double off Van Vliet right now. You just shouldn't leave him, period. Ever. At all. Unless maybe they're throwing the ball down to Larry Bird or somebody. Like maybe. But I would say this, the way he's shooting, I wouldn't double for anybody. I wouldn't. 18 for 27. So, did I like GP2 starting? I mean, in theory, I could see it. Didn't work out all that well. Because, again, it messes up your floor spacing. You have Draymond, Jimmy, and GP2 out there. They're going to play off those guys. They're going to play with at least a foot, if not 2 feet in the paint. You know, and Draymond hit one early. I think GP2 might have hit one in the second half. I don't know if he hit one in the first half. And, you know, I think Jimmy might have hit one early. But he's not going to shoot a bunch. And unless you continue to shoot him, they're just going to keep playing in the paint. That's all they're going to do. So now you're cutting lanes smaller. Driving lanes narrower. It just, everything gets all congested. Because a lot of your three-point shots are coming off, you know, drive, draw, kick. Right? You get downhill, get to the paint, draw the defense, kick. Show the ball, put it on the floor again, get to the paint, kick. But when nobody's respecting that shot, they're just waiting for you. You're not going to get to the paint. You're not going to collapse the defense because you already have one guy staring at you. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they probably go away from that in Game 7. So Steve's had like 4 different starting lineups in this series. I mean, my man loves his different lineups, but I get why he's doing it. I get why he's all about it. To him, it's not so much about starting, and I'm not really. It's like whatever, starting. Who cares? It's about combinations, and he thought this combination would work. GP2, you know, could really lock into Van Vliet, and you know, it was okay. Nothing great. He didn't get off a lot of shots, which is fine. But the ones he got off, he was hitting. I think he was 2 for 4, 2 for 3 from 3 early on in the game. Is Steve going to keep playing zone defense? There's a lot of zone in this series, man. I'll tell you this, I don't think their zone's as effective as the Warriors zone's as effective as the Rocket zone. Rocket zone seems a lot more effective. I still haven't quite figured it out, but it's looks like it could be for those of you that are old enough, remember the amoeba defense, UNLV, kind of like a zone, but with man-to-man principles. There was one time today it went from a zone into a box of one, which is interesting. I'd seen that a couple times this series, so it's different ones. So I don't know. I don't know if we like the zone in theory should make sense against them, right? It just should, because they don't have great shooters on their team except for Van Vliet, who's the best shooter on the planet, of course. But it should work. Here's the problem with the zone. Problem with the zone, it's hard to box out because you're not boxing out a man, you're boxing out an area. And when you're boxing out an area, there might not be a man in that area. There may be two men in another area. So it's tough to figure out boxing assignments, boxing out assignments. And against this team, that's a problem. When you have Steven Adams and Şengün crashing the glass, that's not where you want to be. And so I don't know. I mean, imagine he'll throw at Adam, kind of change of pace type stuff. Because again, I mean, look, Dylan Brooks is almost a 40% three-point shooter. Jabari Smith Jr. is almost a 40% three-point shooter. So they could both shoot. And as I said, Van Vliet's the best shooter on the planet. So, it depends on what lineups he's going to go with them. But it's really hard to do when you're having a tough time boxing out. And they have a tough time boxing out as it is, just because of size disadvantage. I mean, how many hands does Adams get how many balls does Adams get his hands on? Forget the ones that he gets, just that he gets his hand. He's a load, absolute load. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a zone surprise guy. Like, throw him in there as a surprise. See if you can catch him off guard a little bit, and then take it off and go back to it a little bit later on. One of those type deals. I want to say that's what the Rockets have done. Because, again, I'm going to go back and watch the game tonight and go, I've talked to a bunch of people that know basketball really, really well. And I mean a bunch. I'm like, you make heads or tails of that zone? They're like, no. The best I come out with is they don't know. They don't know what they're doing half the time, which is funny, but it's not true. I mean, they know what they're doing. I think, at least for the most part, they know what they're doing. There may be some parts where they're like, I don't know, is this man? Should I get him here? Should you get him here? How are we going to do that? But it's been effective. There's no doubt. Tomorrow. I don't know why I said tomorrow. Again, my head is kind of spinning a little bit. But what else do we have here? Classy Freddie Blassie. I love Classy Freddie Blassie. He's one of my favorites, by the way. Now, Gobert's not going to have average 30. Do you think Alton Lister starts? No, he doesn't start on this team. Stop. I love Alton Lister. Alton Lister ain't starting on this team. He's not. He probably plays some, but about as much as Looney would, as Looney wasn't on the team. But that's kind of the Warriors' advantage, right? Is they're small, but you got to have the floor spacing to go along with being small. If you don't have the floor spacing, like they were small to start the game, that's a bad combo when you're small and no floor spacing. That's just tough. Makes it tougher for Steph. But he doesn't have those handles, so he can't get open and do his thing. And you could tell that's what they were saying. Like, look, back off everybody except for Steph and Buddy. That's it. And if you got to help. We'll cover for you. Don't worry about it. We got you. So we'll see. But it'd be nice if they got some guys that hit some threes early in the game, like some of the younger guys. Like Moody's numbers didn't look bad tonight. In fact, Moody made some shots in the first half. He only got into trouble when he took it too far in. He decided to challenge Adams. That wasn't a great outcome. But when he took jumpers, he was actually pretty good. And so, yeah, you're right. It's like they play three different types of zone. It's like they play a bunch of different types of zone with man-to-man in there, which is, again, why I'm interested to see if I can figure it out tonight when I go watch it. I know there are times where they'll carry Steph through. Steph will be at the top of the zone. He'll pass, he'll cut through, and Van Vliet or somebody else will follow him through, which makes you think like it's a boxing one. But then some of the other guys out there also play man to man in their, in their specific area, and they'll carry him through. It's just when they carry him through, sometimes they'll drop him to the other side of the zone, then get back out to their side of the zone. Which, so again, it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know if I completely got a handle on it, but it'd be better if the Warriors had a handle on it. They get it better, although they've had some good possessions against it. It's not like it's all like, oh my gosh, we can't figure this thing out. How do you attack a zone? Middle of the zone, dotted line, or you attack from behind. Don't go there. Come from behind the zone, and cut up through the zone. Because the zone, right? What does the zone do? Zone always has its eyes on the ball. You're not worried about a specific man. You're worried about the ball in relation to where you are in your place in the zone. So you can use that against zones, but you got to get behind him and then cut up through it. Cutting always works against a zone. You can't just stand around against a zone. Overloading the side of a zone where you get 3 guys in that side of the zone, maybe 4 if you space it correctly. So anyway, we'll see if they can figure that out. My tea's losing its steam. Losing me steam is what it's doing. I have no idea what this is in relation to, but yes, I am better looking than who? I have no idea, but it is true. Really? We're gonna go there? I mean, who is better, me or Tyrone Hill? Look, we're different. We're different. I mean, Tyrone's better. I did different things. And I was like, I could handle a little bit. I could shoot a little bit. I was more of an offensive guy. Tyrone was a power forward, physical. Rebounding was a strength of his. And Tyrone was an all-star. So clearly he was better than I was. But we just did different things, on the same team. Kind of depend on what the team needed at that point. That's what it was in relation to. I'm better looking than I don't know about that, but I will say this. Tyrone tried to take $20. We were playing blackjack one time on a plane because I had 18 and he had 22. And I said, bro, are you kidding me? You're kidding, right? He goes, no. What are you talking about? I'm closer than you are. Fucking A, man. Like, that's not how you play blackjack. That's not how you play blackjack. Blackjack is close as a 21, yes. You're forgetting a very important part of blackjack without going over 21. Closest to without going over 21. And he didn't believe me. I had to get somebody else up there to tell me that's the way you play. Like, well, yeah, no shit, that's the way you play. It's not a secret. I thought everybody knew that. I would have loved if it had actually been at the casino. Placed a bet, got a 21, dealer had an 18. He reached out there and grabbed the chips. That would have been funny. I would have given him my $20 for that to happen because that would have been good stuff. My man's never seen Prices Right, obviously. Clippers Nuggies tomorrow. I thought Clippers would win this series. I think Clippers are probably better. They're deeper. But man, Game 7 at home. I know they lost last year. I think it was Minnesota, right? Minnesota, they're down 20. Minnesota came back and won that game. So I still got to go Clippers, but Nuggets, not a game I'd be interested in wagering on at all. Because you got at home. I still think the Nuggets starting lineup matches up with any starting lineup in the league. It's a fantastic starting lineup. They just struggle when they get to the bench. You get the best player in the league in Jokic at home, Game 7. So I'd probably go. Probably go. I mean, I will. I'll go Clippers, not with a ton of confidence. So but yeah, Oh man. Shaq calling you ugly or Nelly calling you dumbass. I enjoyed Nelly's dumbass. That was funny. I did enjoy. I did enjoy that. Um, or when I was at practice, he'd always go, "God damn it, Tolbert." So I tried to see if the team would change my checks to "God damn it, Tolbert." Couldn't do it. I thought that would have been incredible, right? Warriors check, letterhead, all that stuff, and it just said "God damn it, Tolbert" on there. God damn it, Tolbert. How sweet would that have been? Just as a keepsake, just to have something like that. I should have had him get me a phony one, just so I could like have it. Like that's so sweet. Check out my goddamn it Tolbert check. That would have been nice. I love Nelly. Mm. Oh my gosh. All right. A couple more, then I'm going to call it. I'm going to try to rest my voice a little bit. It's hanging in there okay, but I don't want to push it too much. So if you got a couple more questions, we will do we'll do it for another minute and then we'll get out of here. And so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh shit! You're gonna get me to tell this one now. God damn it! Because I didn't even talk about Pop tonight, and I was just trying. If it had been a regular post game, I would have. This will be the last one though, because this is a little bit longer. But I mean, I love Pop, and he's one of my favorite coaches. And I didn't even play for him except for summer league. He was our summer league coach when he was with the Warriors, so I knew Pop a little bit when I was with the Warriors. And he's one guy I wish I would have played for. He's one coach. There's a number of coaches that either I know, some of them I don't even know. I just think it would have been cool to play for him, and I would have loved to have played for Pop. I think that would have been incredible. I love Pop. I love the way he treats people. I love the way he coaches. I love the way he gets the most out of the first man, the 12th man. Just that's who Pop is, and Pops cares about people. He was one of the not a lot of people in basketball. When I had my heart surgery, it wasn't really heart; it was aorta. I just say heart, so I'm going to explain the whole thing. One of the few people from basketball that actually called me. He called me that I know but don't like text all the time. He texted me. Charles texted me like, just hey, I hope you're doing well. You know, I heard you, blah 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 blah. And I always thought that's cool. You don't have to do that. But Pop, of course, texted me a hey, I heard you had this happen. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Rub some dirt on it. Get fucking back out there. That was a great text. I love that text. But I mean, the world of basketball will miss him coaching. He's just so good. So good. Think about the first championship he won with Twin Towers, right? David Robinson, Tim Duncan. And then the last championship he won, where Duncan took more of a back seat, and it was a space the court, move the ball offense. Two totally different offenses. And he won them. I think it was 17 years apart, 16 years, so 5 of them. So I mean, it's pretty awesome stuff. I think he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. But my interaction with Pop, one of my funniest ones. So we're in Utah for a summer league, and me and Judd Bushler go out to a bar. We're back in Utah. I had no idea this was like what you had to join, like the bar. Like the bar would have a club. You had to join it or something to go into the bar. So, go to the bar, have a couple of drinks. Beer was so watered down anyway. I mean, I wasn't even close to being inebriated. Anyway, we're walking home, and I look over, and it's the bank, and they have these big, huge windows outside the bank, right? They're like mirror windows, and I was just messing around. So I'm walking by the bank, and I see a reflection of myself. Then I do some stupid like karate thing, right? Boom. And I kick the image of myself. Cop must have been standing right there. They arrested me. Well, they didn't arrest me for that. They weren't thrilled that I kicked the bank window. I get it. But then I was kind of belligerent. They weren't like real thrilled with my attitude. And I gotta say they're probably right, but I'm like, well, fucking, are you kidding me? What do you think? That'd be the worst robbery of all time. How you gonna get in? I decided to kick the fucking window in. You think that'll work? No. Yeah, what do you know? Let's try it anyway. So anyway, cuffed me, put me in the back of the car, and Judd kind of talked him out of like not taking me for booking. But I did have to go see the judge. So I went to Pop the next day, and I told Pop, I go, hey Pop, I'm gonna miss practice. He goes, why? I go, I gotta go to court. He just looked at me like, what? He goes, all right, do what you gotta do. Like, that was it. I told him the story. He goes, all right, just do what you gotta do. Because I was gonna miss practice. I don't think I missed a game, but he was like, no, don't worry about it. Go take care of it. I think he thought that was stupid too. But that was one of our first interactions on Summer League. Yeah, I gotta go to court. So I went to court and just told the judge what happened, and she understood. So I don't even think I got fined or anything. So yeah, there you go. How about that? I got arrested one time in my life, and it was in Utah. Huh? All right. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. I know it wasn't a hope my voice didn't grate on you too much, but I will I'll be back with you Sunday after the game if I can. Now there is an off chance that I don't go on the trip. I don't want to get anybody sick. Like if I'm not feeling good tomorrow, I'm not gonna go just because selfishly I want to call the game. I mean, it's game 7. Of course you want to call game 7, but I don't want to. And that's so. Anyway, if I don't travel with the team for game 7, then I will do a post game. We'll sit in here and do an hour or so after if I'm feeling better, of course, which I think I will be, but you never know. So, all right, thank you guys. I appreciate hanging in there with me, listening to me. I know it's a little scratchy right now, and it's a good possibility I will be with you on Sunday, and then we're still going to wait and see what the Warriors do as far as like shows next week and stuff like that. So we will figure that out as we go. No, I didn't need Houston sushi. Who do you think I am, pal? You think I'm in Houston sushi? I live in the Bay Area. I'm gonna eat Houston sushi when I can get good sushi like right here anytime I want, and I'm gonna get Houston. What did I tell you? When I go to Houston, I have Mexican food or barbecue. If it's beef, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm in Texas. Pretty good. Sushi, not a chance. Ain't happening. All right, you guys, have a great evening. Be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we'll keep you posted on what's going on. All right, see you. Out.